My next guest is here to tell us about a live musical documentary. What's that? We're going to find out. And you can go see it at the Westdale Theatre. Creator and writer of Becoming The Beatles, Haley Marie joins us. Haley Marie, it's wonderful to have you here.
It's lovely to be here.
I've never heard of such a thing, a live musical documentary. What is it?
Well, for starters, it's not a tribute act. A lot of people see the word Beatles on the posters and they assume it's going to be a tribute with the wigs and the impersonations. We don't do any of that. So, like you asked, what is it? Well, we've got a live band. We have 20 live songs that we're going to be performing throughout the evening.
And they're not trying to look like the Beatles.
No one's John, no one's Paul, exactly.
But they are performing Beatles tunes.
Exactly,
okay.
Yes. And then in between the songs, we have the behind-the-scenes story of the making of the biggest band of all time. So how did they get together? Who were the players behind the scenes? What made them great? How did they change music history? Who were their influences? All of these details that will help you hear the music in a different way.
You don't look like you were old enough to even be alive when they started. So how did you get how did you become such a super fan?
Well, it was partly my parents' fault because I was being driven around to different lessons and sports, and then the Beatles were playing in the car. And at the age of 9, my parents signed me up for like pop keyboard lessons. And so I opened my new book for the year, and there was Obla Di Obla Da or Yesterday, songs like that. So I got to know these melodies at a very young age. And then as I grew older and I started to wrap my head around their legacy and just how big it was, I had this fascination with the question, what made them so big? How could have these 4 guys from a small town in England, I mean, at the time, Liverpool was like, oh, you're from Liverpool, it's laughable. Please hide your accent when you go to London. How did they change music that much?
Are you able to provide an answer to that question? Because it's a good one. Like, why did they get so big?
It's so complicated, right? It's a really complicated question. And I think it was a combination of so many things. Most importantly, their hard work. And their open minds and flexibility to accept musical influences from all over the world and from all over historical eras at a time when other people were laughing at different types of music they were diving in. And then throughout the evening, to kind of help illustrate the documentary part, the live story, we have over 300 images being projected behind us as we play.
Pictures of them doing their thing.
The whole thing. So when we introduce their producer, the legendary Sir George Martin, you're going to see pictures of him growing up, who was older. He was growing up in the Depression. And yeah, so I think to go back to your question, I think it was a combination of their hard work, their open minds, and the place and time. I mean, the 60s, the late 50s, the skiffle, all of the different musical influences going on at the time was just remarkable, was just amazing. And I also think that the 4 of them together could achieve more than 4 people separately. You know, the push, the pull, the yin, the yang, that eventually, you know, resulted in a lot of conflict in the end.
You're the creator of the show, but you got help directing.
Yeah.
By another Beatles super fan.
I know, she's amazing.
She's the world's first graduate of the Beatles Masters program.
Yes, Mary Lou Zahallen. Mary Lou Zahallen was extraordinary. She directed the show not right from the beginning. She's the world's first graduate of the Beatles Masters program in Liverpool.
She can get a degree. And
she moved over to Liverpool for a few
What's
years.
the little acronym? How do they spell it after your name?
Oh, that's a really good question. I should have prepared for
MBT?
that. Well, let's go with that. And we had a lot of conversations after she saw the very first show. And one of my most proud moments was that she saw the show and she introduced herself after. She said, "I'm the world's first graduate of the Beatles Masters program, and I learned something new from your show tonight." And I was like, yes, jackpot, you know. So that was, you know, check that box. I'm happy with that. And then we started talking about different ways to shape the show and to package it and how it could be the most enjoying thrill ride for the audience.
I love that you're doing this at the Westdale, because that's the great thing about the Westdale. Yes, there's a movie screen, but they've got that brilliant stage.
Yeah.
So it's like this perfect.
It's beautiful. I'm an old soul, and so the architecture is just amazing. I love it in there. We've never played there, so we're really, really excited. And this is our only Ontario show for a few months. We're leaving, going out of province. We're going west on tour for February and March. So this is
somewhere warm, I hope.
No, nowhere warm.
Come on.
But we're so excited because playing. I mean, we're all from here, so playing in the area is amazing.
Love that.
Yeah.
January 31st, 8 p.m. Go watch this, be a part of this. You're almost immersed in it.
Yeah.
Because you're live, the band is live, and then we've got the video and the pictures, and it's all around you.
All the senses, and the goal is really, you know, to experience something as if you're going to a concert and the person sitting next to you toured with the band or knows everything about the band, is like the whole time, psst, hey, let me tell you a secret. And then that gives you a new appreciation for the music.
We're almost out of time, but do people really get into it? Do the audience members sing along? Do they cheer?
Oh yeah, they do. They do. And at one night a few years ago, we were only in 1962, so a while away from the end of the Beatles, and I had a group of women at the end, at the back of the theater. More, we want more. Thinking we're not done yet.
Go to the Westdale, westdale.com. Get the tickets. Just be there January 31st, right?
It's going to be so fun.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so exciting. It's called Becoming the Beatles. Enjoy. And thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. Such a pleasure.
Too far away. I should have sat closer. After the break, we'll be cooking on a budget and tasting good stuff. Justin Azinga from 541 Eatery and Exchange will be here with all the details. Thank you.
My pleasure.